I'm so excited for 2025, but I wanted to start with some kind of reflections, lessons I've learned from 2024. So let's get into it, girl. So guys, because today is in fact Christmas Eve and we're coming to the end of 2024, I thought I would do some lessons that I learned this year, some reflections on the year, and some knowledge and advice to share with my people from one woman to another. Okay, this is the year for women. This is what I believe, truly. This is the year that I see girl after girl, woman after woman leaving their toxic ass relationships, living in their truth, getting in the gym, getting promotions, looking beautiful and just feeling beautiful. And I can see it all over social media, in real life, through my friends, and I just think this is the year for the girlies. Lesson 1, never ever water yourself down for anybody. Why would you? God made you in his perfect image, babe. Why would you skew yourself down to fit in somebody else's picture perfect world? Fuck them, be you. That is what I learned this year. Before, I used to, even at work or even in social settings, I used to feel like I was on 10% of myself. Yeah, I wasn't fully charged. I would be in a room and I would just be like, yeah, listen, I am not that girl. I'm a yapper, you know? And I could feel like, I feel socially awkward. Am I masking right now? Why am I feeling like this? It comes from just feeling like you need to fit in, or you need to be perceived in the way that you think you need to be perceived by these people or by in this setting. When fuck that shit. Be you. And I love being me. Now I'm just myself unapologetically everywhere I go, and best believe I've had more friends made, opportunities made, and I feel good. Why would I water myself down? I have been speaking up for myself in so many ways this year, and I've never felt so proud of myself. So all I will encourage my ladies to do is don't water yourself down for anyone. Ever. Coffee break. The next lesson that I learned this year, it's easy to move on. I'm sorry. That is the best lesson I've realized. I went through a transformative breakup this year. Girl. Another story for another day, you know. But what kept me in such a toxic situation for so long was the fear of heartbreak, was the fear of breaking up, was the fear of the unknown. If somebody told me breakups were as easy as they were, I would have done that shit years ago. You know what stands in your way and why breakups are so hard? It's you. When you tell yourself you can't get over this, or you're stalking that person, you can move past anything with the right mindset. And that is the lesson I learned. Allow yourself to feel, put a plan in place of how you will move forward with your life on your own, and God will do the rest, and things just fall into place. When things are right, like leaving a situation that you knew wasn't right for you, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay, and it all works out in the end. And that is what I learned this year. Stop living in fear, people. Be you, be true to yourself, and sometimes eat the frog. And what I mean by that is do what feels difficult at the time if you know for yourself in the long run you will benefit from it. Because what is a moment of pain for a lifetime of pleasure, baby? That is, I think more than ever I've learned the importance of platonic relationships, how important friendship is, and that investing in friendship is one of the best investments you will ever do in your life. I have so many amazing friends, and they are all real life examples of love in human form. The way they make me feel, the way I feel so supported and so loved, so much that I don't even feel the need to find it anywhere else. and it makes me have a high standard for relationships, because if my friend can love me this way, what the fuck are you gonna do for me? Do you know what I mean? So invest in your friendships. Sisters are for life. Men come and go, girlies. When I see my friend Elizabeth, who I love so dearly, and her birthday's coming up, and I went ham on her presents, I can't wait for her to open them. But when I seen her, she brought me a journal. Like, we went out for dinner and she just brought me a journal because she thought of me and she saw it. And I didn't know that, but I brought her chocolates from Roselle Chocolat because I thought of her when I saw them, because I know she loves chocolate. And it's just like, when we seen each other, I was like, I got you something. She's like, I got you something. I was like, wow, this is love. And that's my bestie. And that's the shit that makes me feel so fucking happy and appreciated. You don't need to feel that love from a boy or from a romantic relationship. Platonic relationships are so key in life, and don't let go of them. It is amazing having friends. Friends are the family you choose, and invest in those relationships. Don't put them to the side. Don't be that girl or guy when you get into a relationship just neglect everyone, because they're your soul tribe. I hope I used that correctly. The next lesson I learned is that fuck imposter syndrome, okay? And what I mean by that is, sometimes when you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, even when you're in a job role that you've successfully got because of your merit and your background and all your experience, and you're doing it every day, but sometimes we can feel almost incompetent, like I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be here. And it's like the devil in your ear just whispering that you're not good enough. And fuck that, because what I've realized is no one, even at any levels of fields, trust me, seems to know what the fuck they're doing, and everyone kind of feels like that. And it's just like, it's actually good, because when you start being a bit more delusional, you're like, fuck it, I'll just go for this role, and you can honestly level up and get what's the word, promotion so much easier with delusion. Just be delusional. And that is another lesson that I learned this year. A lesson I learned this year, which will be a funny one, but I read this book called Everything I Learned About Love, I Know About Love, by Dolly Alderton. Shout out Dolly Alderton. One day I'd like you to read a book I'd write, okay? But other than that, I read this book and it had a segment on your friends' boyfriends. And boyfriends. We've all been there when we don't like our friend's partner, or they don't like yours. We've all been there. Some more than others. Sometimes you just see your friend's boyfriend as a common cold, and you just want them to go away. It's like, I want my friend back. But what I learned this year is, if your friend is happy, your friend is happy. And sometimes don't be selfish. If they're happy, put your feelings aside. And that's what lesson I have learned this year. Another lesson I learned this year is, don't let people try to tell you about yourself. Fuck no, fuck that. Sorry to swear, but I'm so passionate about this one. If you know in your heart that you are sensitive, you are kind, and if someone tries to criticize you based on their own projections and insecurities, you need to be able to cipher through all the bullshit and see that their naked core is vulnerable and insecure, and the reason they're calling you these names is not because of you're those things, but in fact they're projecting because they're jealous. You know, when you're young and your parents are like, well, they're just jealous of you. I'm so sure that's true. They're just jealous. And it's not about physicality. It's about when you can be your authentic self and someone else can't, they hate you for it because they can't do it. Because it comes from fear. And not to be narcissistic, I hope this isn't coming across narcissistic, but you know in your heart you're kind, you have these long-term relationships and friendships, and everyone talks about how, you know, you're so kind and you're so giving and generous and sensitive and affectionate, and then if someone comes along to try to tell you you are cold and callous and this and that, and try and make you believe it, you need to sit back, grab your coffee, and you need to be like, oh really? You do not need to engage in a back and forth with someone when you know yourself. A lesson I learned this year is that silence speaks 1,000 words. And don't bite at people's projections and insecurities. The best approach is the Okay, bye. That's what you need to do. So when someone says stuff about you that you don't align with, just pop the oh really, lovely, say ya. With that being said, a lesson I learned this year is understanding life is not black and white. We are all complex individuals. We have trauma, we have fears, we have anxieties, and everyone's mindset is different, and you need to know that your mindset is not the same as everyone else. Don't expect it to be, and don't penalize people for that. You don't know what they've been through, they don't know what you've been through. Your thought process and your action plan might be different to somebody else's. Patience, patience, patience. Show mercy sometimes, especially whether your friends, your family, and perhaps they're dealing with the situation in a way you wouldn't necessarily approve of. Patience, understanding, conversation. I have learned the biggest lesson this year, and this will be my last one. It is not what you say, but how you say it. And girls, we can get so much more from how we say something. And I can't put all my secrets out there, but cool, calm, never do too much. You know how in an interview, when there's a journalist and let's say the celebrity, who does more of the talking? The celebrity, of course, because that's what we want to hear. When you want to get something from someone, this sounds really manipulative right now, but it's not. This is just facts. The more talking you do gives the person less time to do their talking. If you really want to understand how someone feels, don't do too much. Put forth a question to them and let them do the talking. Don't feel that you need to repeat yourself, okay? Once you start repeating yourself, you come across as not put together, let's say. When you want some stuff, is how you say it. Be calm, patient, and sometimes a little bit detached. And that's what I'm gonna end on, girlies. So my loves, these are some lessons I have learnt this year. I had so much fun filming this video because there's nothing I love more than a coffee, a Lululemon jacket, looking pretty, and talking to my girlies on YouTube. So I love you all. Please comment if you like this video. Please subscribe if you want to join this community of girl chat. I love it and I genuinely live for this so thank you so much. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. Bye guys.